Hello everyone, welcome to the final series of SPL 16. So 10 matches, we are going to take a look at the RBY overused best of 3 brought to you by yours truly, Marquez. We have Kaz for the Classiest against Shiloh for the Tigers. Kaz leads with Jinx, Shiloh has Starmie. Kaz gets the sleep, Shiloh goes Chansey, both players go Chansey, and Shiloh doesn't have Sing. So it looks like this team is an Executor team, Executor as the only sleeper. So the most complex way to get the sleep. So Shiloh uses Ice Beam against Chansey, and Kaz lands Thunder Wave immediately. Then Kaz goes back to Jinx. So Snorlax comes in on Thunderbolt. This is not 100% to be a counterless Chansey. Kaz clicks Reflect indeed, so Executor comes in for free. So Jinx goes down to 47%. Turn 9, Kaz scouts for Hyper Beam, and Shiloh has it. So Kaz clicks Thunder Wave on the recharge turn, then Blizzard for Sleep Powder. I would say that Shiloh is ahead. Chansey against Tauros. Kaz makes a double switch, goes Snorlax as Shiloh sends Chansey. So Snorlax Ditto. Kaz has a slight advantage on HPs, but he decides to use Rest because he needs Snorlax more than Shiloh does. Kaz needs to use Snorlax to beat Chansey, so he doesn't want to trade. Shiloh gets a critical hit. So Alakazam comes in on predicted Rest. So Thunder Wave on Chansey. Shiloh goes Snorlax. He body slams Chansey, however, Kaz goes Rhydon, no Paraslam. And Rhydon is quite dangerous here. Shiloh goes Executor, very crippled right now, makes a double switch to Tauros, catching a switch to Jinx. Starmie is sacrificed, so Tauros Ditto. Shiloh's Tauros wins. Kaz follows with Chansey. Shiloh pulls back. 6 on 4. Turn 35. Critical hit on Snorlax. Tauros comes in. And Snorlax wakes up, and this is probably Reflect Hyper Beam Snorlax. So Shiloh decides to use Hyper Beam immediately, predicting Snorlax to stay in and possibly use Hyper Beam. Kaz goes Rhydon instead. Earthquake doesn't get the roll, but Rhydon gets the knockout the next turn. Shiloh follows with Alakazam, so Kaz has to go Chansey, uses Thunder Wave on Alakazam. Turn 48, Rhydon comes in on predicted recover. Earthquake, then Rhydon goes down. Kaz follows with Snorlax. Shiloh sacrifices Starmie. And this is where Shiloh's plan creaks a bit. On turn 42, Alakazam was Thunder Waved by Chansey, And right now, he doesn't have an unstatused special attacker. So Kaz is very dangerous with Snorlax right now. So Shiloh follows with Executor, which goes down immediately to Hyper Beam. Shiloh follows with Chansey. And from this position, Kaz can get the win if Chansey is fully paralyzed once, and if he can win the speed tie against Snorlax. Kaz decides to use Rest instead. Shiloh goes Snorlax, so both players use Reflect and Shiloh gets back to fresh HP. Kaz goes Chansey, lands Thunder Wave, then goes back to Snorlax. We don't know the last move for Shiloh, but it looks like this is not Ice Beam, and Kaz has the option to fish for a critical hit, Hyper Beam. So by turn 75, it's anyone's game. Kaz fishes for Hyper Beam critical hit on turn 77. And yeah, this looks like a PP stall war. Jinx comes in, Shiloh goes Chansey. There is some PP stalling between Chansey. Shiloh goes Alakazam, Snorlax comes in, and at this point Shiloh's Snorlax is in danger. Turn 93, speed tie. If Kaz wins this speed tie, he basically wins the game on the spot. He still needs to beat Alakazam, but it's going to happen some way, somehow. Shiloh's Snorlax wins the speed tie instead, so nothing happens. Shiloh uses Rest. Kaz goes Jinx, wakes up, but at this point, this is going to be a stall war between Snorlax. Kaz keeps using Jinx to force Snorlax out. Then Kaz tries to pressure Chansey with Jinx, gets a special drop on turn 105, but Blizzard misses. So back to Snorlax. Another EP stall war. Then Shiloh goes Alakazam. Things change on turn 121. Snorlax is Thunder Waved. Kaz goes Chansey, predicting Psychic, and at this point Shiloh's Snorlax has the upper hand. So on turn 124, Shiloh reveals Self-Destruct. And from this position, Shiloh's Alakazam is going to be a win condition. Kaz tries to PP stall, and on turn 132, Jinx is Thunder Waved. Next, Alakazam uses Psychic and Seismic Toss. Turn 144, Jinx is fully paralyzed again, and it becomes clear that Shiloh has this game in his hands. So Shiloh gets the win. I think this was harder than it was supposed to be. Like, at some point this game was a 6 against 4, and Kaz's Snorlax almost won this game on its own, single-handedly, especially on that hyper beam speed tie. Shiloh had the option to do something different around turn 40-41. He allowed Kaz to Thunderwave his Alakazam, and this made his path to victory a lot more complicated. His other options were 44% Paralyzed Exeggutor or 42% Snorlax, most likely using Chansey before and setting up the switch. Yeah, go Chansey, then either Thunderwave Snorlax or go Snorlax and set Reflect up. Game 2, Starmie against Gengar. Shiloh switches out immediately, goes Chansey, Kaz uses Thunderwave. Next, Exeggutor into Chansey. And this is not a comfortable play. I think going Exeggutor on turn 2 means that this is a Rhydon team. Kaz went Exeggutor trying to absorb Sing. And from this position, Kaz cannot explode safely. Shiloh has Gengar. Kaz cannot use Sleep Powder nor Sing later because Chansey is a status absorber. So I think turn 1 Thunder Wave didn't work well at all for Kaz. I think he predicted Exeggutor to come in, so he went all in, tried to go for Thunder Wave and Blizzard. So it looks like Shiloh doesn't have Sing, so Kaz goes Snorlax. Body slams Exeggutor, and then Exeggutor is put to sleep by Shilloh's Exeggutor. Kaz stays in, Shiloh goes Tauros on sleeping Exeggutor, free body slam on Starmie, which is paraslammed in the process. So terrible start for Kaz. Shiloh goes Chansey, which is Ice Beam Thunderbolt, so Kaz has to go Snorlax, which falls in Hyper Beam range, so Kaz has to use Reflect. Shiloh goes Gengar and Kaz uses Body Slam. This means that this Snorlax is most likely a Monolax, especially if Rhydon is confirmed. So right now Snorlax is at risk. Gengar can knock it out with a critical hit, which doesn't happen. Turn 14, critical hit, special drop. So Kaz goes Chansey, makes a double switch to Snorlax. So Snorlax wakes up. Shiloh makes a double switch to Exeggutor, trying to scout for Earthquake, which Kaz doesn't have. So there are multiple switches leading nowhere. And Gengar comes in again, so it walls Snorlax. So Shiloh's Chansey is now a major obstacle. It uses Thunder Wave, catches Snorlax. Turn 26, Shiloh goes Tauros on predicted rest. Then Gengar again. Then Shiloh goes Tauros, but this doesn't help at all. Chansey is the progress maker for Shiloh, and it's a slow one. Things can change if Shiloh lands Thunder Wave on Chansey. So on turn 33, Kaz predicts Gengar, goes Rhydon. So Kaz gets the chance to deal some damage to Exeggutor. Shiloh Thunder Waves Snorlax. So rest again, Gengar against Snorlax again, and this loop results in Shiloh's Chansey spamming Ice Beam. Turn 47, Tauros against Rhydon. So this is a chance for Shiloh to make some progress. If he makes the correct guess, Blizzard on Starmie, nothing happens. Turn 50, Thunderwave on Snorlax, Tauros comes in, Body Slam, and this is a very important turn. Shiloh clicks Body Slam predicting a switch, Kaz stays in, decides to sacrifice Snorlax, so Kaz trades Snorlax for 57% of Shiloh's Tauros' HP. Kaz follows with Tauros, clicks Earthquake predicting Jengar correctly, then another great prediction by Kaz. Shiloh uses Explosion, Kaz goes Exeggutor. So this is a 4 on 5, Kaz has one sleeping Pokemon in Exeggutor. However, Kaz has a fresh Chansey, Rhydon is dangerous, and chances are that Shiloh might have a Zapdos. So if a few turns ago it looked like Shiloh was in control of this game, now it looks like Kaz has a chance. The only problem Kaz has is Beambolt Chansey. So Shiloh follows with Snorlax, Kaz goes Chansey. Then he makes a double switch to Rhydon, uses Earthquake, and he gets the critical hit. So Chansey goes down. Shiloh follows with Tauros, Kaz sacrifices Exeggutor and follows with his own Tauros. Turn 60, Kaz doesn't use Hyper Beam, he goes for the safe option, which is Body Slam, and it's okay, however Shiloh gets the critical hit. Turn 61, Shiloh pulls back, he goes Snorlax, then clicks Earthquake predicting Rhydon, correct prediction, so a nice sequence by both players. Then some more damage on Exeggutor, and Shiloh decides to explode, so he trades Exeggutor for Starmie. Turn 66, Snorlax against Tauros. Kaz doesn't hesitate, clicks Hyper Beam, gets a good roll, and this is okay, like, even worst case scenario is that Shiloh uses Hyper Beam and Kaz follows with Rhydon. This way Shiloh needs to win the speed tie, guess the right move, Kaz wins the speed tie instead, Shiloh reveals Zapdos, good game. Next, Game 3, Jinx against Alakazam. Jinx struggles a bit, then lands Lovely Kiss. And uses Rest. Shiloh goes Exeggutor, he decides to stay in, so he doesn't go for Tauros against Sleeping Jinx, gets the sleep back. Next, Chansey against Tauros. Shiloh goes Sleeping Alakazam, so he allows a free switch to Tauros. However, Alakazam wakes up, so Shiloh gets a Thunder Wave on Chansey. Kaz answers spamming some Ice Beams. On turn 18, Shiloh goes Snorlax, but he pulls back, he goes Alakazam. This is a sign that he wants to scout for counter, and this Snorlax is Monolax. At the same time, he doesn't want to use Reflect and let his Snorlax get paralyzed. So the result is that Shiloh goes Alakazam, Kaz goes Snorlax. So Shiloh lost a lot of momentum. Right now he has to switch out because Alakazam doesn't want to stay in against Snorlax. So Shiloh goes Chansey, Kaz goes Exeggutor, and he has the chance to use Sleep Powder again. Shiloh reveals Starmie, and it looks like he really doesn't want to let Kaz land Paralysis on Chansey. Shiloh goes Snorlax indeed, and Kaz uses Stun Spore, but he misses. So Shiloh pulls back, he goes Starmie. On turn 28, Shiloh stays in and Kaz uses Thunder Wave. Maybe this Snorlax is a restless variant. So turn 29, Shiloh goes Snorlax and Kaz uses Thunder Wave again. So Kaz goes Snorlax and Shiloh decides to use Unstatus Chansey as the switch-in for Snorlax. Turn 36, Thunder Wave, and at this point Shillow's Chansey is in Hyper Beam range. Anyway, Kaz is fully paralyzed, so we don't know whether this Snorlax has Hyper Beam or not. Eventually Kaz finds himself in a bad spot. On turn 42, he has to use Reflect, and he is going to use Rest sooner or later. Shiloh goes Exeggutor, predicting Rest. Kaz clicks Body Slam, gets a Para Slam and a critical hit. Turn 44, Law of Retaliation. Exeggutor gets the critical hit, Snorlax goes down. So Kaz reveals Zapdos. Shiloh sacrifices Alakazam, which wakes up, but it's too late. Next, Tauros against Zapdos, Paraslam and a critical hit. Zapdos uses Thunder Wave. So good trade for Shiloh. Kaz goes Exeggutor, Tauros is fully paralyzed. Then Shiloh goes Starmie. Kaz goes Chansey and Shiloh has the option to go either Tauros or Snorlax. He decides to go Tauros. So Body Slam on Chansey, Para Slam on Exeggutor. Turn 54, Kaz predicts Exeggutor to come in, makes a double switch to Zapdos, and this works very well for him. So Drill Peck, Shiloh goes Tauros. Hyper Beam is likely to knock out, but Kaz is going to switch out and Shiloh uses Body Slam. So Tauros against Tauros. Turn 57, Shiloh decides to save Tauros, he uses Body Slam planning to switch out later. And in the meantime he gets a critical hit. Then Shiloh goes Snorlax, Kaz uses Hyper Beam, so Tauros goes down. So this is a 5-on-4, basically a 5-on-3 if you consider that Jinx is asleep. Zapdos can become dangerous with agility, but with a fresh Chansey on Shillow's side, we aren't still in a territory where Zapdos can really sweep. So turn 59, Kaz follows with Exeggutor. Double special drop. Full paralysis. Kaz pulls back. He goes Chansey. Shiloh goes Exeggutor. Kaz goes Jinx. Shiloh is fully paralyzed. so we don't know whether this was explosion or not. Turn 65, Shiloh goes Taurus, Jinx wakes up, and this is a relevant turn. Jinx is back in the game and it doesn't look like Shiloh is going to get to sleep again. Kaz predicts Starmie to come in, he goes Chansey, so free soft boiled. However, Kaz is fully paralyzed. Shiloh goes Executor, uses Explosion, and Kaz goes Executor, so players trade Executor. 4 on 3. Shiloh follows with Taurus, Kaz goes Jinx. And this works well for Kaz. Kaz goes Chansey, predicting Shiloh to switch. Turn 70, Kaz doesn't use Soft Boiled, he goes for Thunderbolt. Shiloh uses Self-Destruct on turn 71. Assuming Kaz is not going Jinx, if Shiloh catches Zapdos, this works well for him, because he knows he has Rest Taurus. So Taurus is going to use Rest against Chansey, and Starmie is going to wall Jinx. If Self-Destruct lands on Chansey, Chansey and Taurus are going to beat Zapdos, and Starmie is going to wall Jinx. So Self-Destruct plus Rest Taurus works well for Shiloh here. Self-Destruct lands on Zapdos, so on turn 75 Shiloh uses Rest. Turn 78, Shiloh has the option to go Chansey on predicted Thunder Wave. He decides to stay in with Taurus instead, and right now Taurus is slower after Kaz uses Thunder Wave. So speed drops stack up. And on turn 79, Shiloh has the option to use Rest, but he decides to use Hyper Beam instead. I think Rest would have been the correct play. Right now, Chansey is faster, so Taurus is in danger. However, Taurus uses Rest, and from this point, it looks like Kaz is looking for a freeze or a critical hit. Shiloh has the option to go Chansey and let it get frozen intentionally. Also, Taurus is still slower than Chansey, so Kaz keeps fishing for freeze and critical hits. On turn 85, he gets the critical hit. This means that Shiloh now needs Starmie to do great things with Psychic. He needs special drops and full paralysis on Chansey. Kaz uses Jinx to get rid of special drops. The tides turn quickly. On turn 94, Shiloh's Starmie is in trouble and Kaz forces it out, lands Lovely Kiss on Chansey, and from here Kaz is going to win the game and the series. Overall, I feel like Shiloh was in the driver's seat for the whole series. He made some inaccurate plays and RNG punished him very badly. Kaz gets the win that he needed. The Classiest and the Tigers finished the week with 6 wins each. This means that we're going to have a tiebreaker. And once again, the final outcome will not depend on Red Blue Yellow. So this concludes the coverage for Red Blue Yellow overused in SPL. We are going to have some more Red Blue Yellow overused action on the channel. For now, that's it. Thanks for watching.